I am late. I am late. I am late. I am late. I know. I'm late. My bad. I couldn't find my phone. Hello. Peace, 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 peace. I am going to let some people come in. Uh-oh. That's not going to work. Anyway, I'm going to let some people come in. I'm going to share the live. I'm going to share the live. I'm going to share the live. Okay. So today's Thursday. We talk about ancestral veneration and how it shows up in the society that we're living in today. Today's title was actually Taking Your Power Back. And one of the things that I had on my list was not allowing your perceived enemy or opposition to feed you. And it's so funny that I came across an article late last night about a Arby's manager, Amanda Hendricks, who decided she thought it was a great idea to share her sputum in a customer's food, right? I don't know the basis of the interaction or exactly what happened, but yes, that's what she decided to do. And so in talking about ancestral veneration today, I was going to discuss who you eat from, where you eat from. The ancestors, thank you, half heart to you. The ancestors, or my ancestors, never ate from people that they didn't like and never ate from people that they didn't see the food prepared. So that is one of the things that we were going to go over today, along with Jordan Rose Duncan and Cohen Wiley. So for those of you that are just joining us, thank you so much for joining Ancestral Veneration 101, what it is and why you need it. I'm going to recap. Hey, Soldier, thank you for joining. I'm going to recap a little bit what we've been doing over the last 3 weeks. Is basically seeing how relative yes, Vivian, how relative these things are that the ancestors did and how we need to get back to those spaces, those safe spaces. So over the last 3 weeks, I've been talking about ancestral veneration, how to do it, why you should be doing it, what may be needed to start off doing it. And so I emptied I don't know if I can flip this phone or not, but I emptied my altar just to show you the basis of what may take place on an ancestral / working altar, because you will run into some practitioners that say to you, you should not put active work or petitions on an altar. I disagree. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one, right? So I disagree. But this is let me see if I can turn it around. This is my clean space altar to share with the collective. So I don't know how to turn the phone around, so I'm just going to do this. Let's see. Can you all see that? Right? So this is a spiritual libation. Yeah, there it is. This is a spiritual libation. When I fix food, tea, or coffee, this is what I put it on. Always there should be cool water on the altar. This is where I put my candle. And this is Mississippi red brick dust for protection. If you know, you know. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah, so that is just the clean altar. Again, when you get into a couple of folds, one, spiritual hygiene, two, communicating with your ancestors, they will indicate what they would like to see on the altar. Whether you have an ancestor who smoked cigars, I did. Whether you have an ancestor who smoked cigars, I did. And every now and again, I'll get that craving, even though I do not smoke, to just give it back to the universe. So I don't inhale. I will pull on it so that it manifests in a way that they can see it or smell it or experience it. I have a small cast iron skillet that I will allow it to burn out by itself. And then we'll move on to whatever partition or whatever thing we got going on for the day. I should also now that I've unpacked, my box is not here and things are all over the place, But this is the box that I showed you all last week or the week before. And if you're in a situation where you don't want to reveal, don't feel safe to reveal your ancestral veneration, this is a way that you can have it and it can still be incognito, right? Because this just looks like a regular box. Now, if you got nosy people, then that's something else we have to talk about. So inside, I have all my tools, right? Here's some pictures for the altar on the go. So there's white sage, there's sweetgrass, there's always should have a protective element of salt, copal. So when you are smudging, this is what I talk about in spiritual hygiene. Smudging is 2 steps. Sage, in my opinion, is the equivalent of the bleach of the spiritual community. So it drives everything. But you want to come back and sweeten that environment with copal or frankincense and myrrh or amber or pinyon pine, whatever sweetener, softness, comfortingness that you can invite back into the space, you should do that, right? I don't think a lot of people discuss the twofold method of smudging. Thank you, Soldier. I am glad you are here as well. Thank you so much for going to share a little bit of your lunch break with me or your downtime with me. I also created something that I will be bringing back for production and sale. If TikTok lets me into the shop, I'll put it in the shop. It's called Bitch Be Gone Spray. And what it is it has elements of hyssop, ravensara, camphor, things that drive negative energies that surround your energetic body. Thank you, Vivian. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Then you want to bring in the element of fire or light to let them know that it's safe and it's comfortable. And these are just little mini chime candles. Again, they will be coming back to my website. I'm not going to say when, just follow, and then I'll share on TikTok and Instagram when they are available for that. Of course, I have my own red brick dust here, the bell. If stones are your thing, there's a protective stone. And then there is, if you're going to do divination, there is should be a pendulum or whatever your chosen form of divination is. So that is the altar on the go box. We talked about that, all right? Or if you can set it up in your home, you can see the one that I showed you over there. So I'll put all this back. And then we're going to get into it. So there are a lot of things that have manifested. Yes, they are, Soldier. Yes, they are. Like I find sometimes I have just a spare one in my purse, and when I'm outside, I will just go around myself because the energy is different. And just to let you know, I use my own products, right? So first, I wanted to talk about the new executive order that was signed by the President of the United States that are basically not going to honor any civil rights violations or lawsuits moving forward. Now, for some, and in my natural state, if I didn't have a relationship with my ancestors, I would have thought this is the worst. But this executive order can work both ways. Right? I'm going to say that again and slow it down and let you take a deep breath in while I hold your hand and say that. This new executive order works both ways. So, not to get into the political stance of it, I am. So, I'll give you an example. There was a doctor that was in Grand Junction, Colorado, who decided to sue a website called Find a Black Doctor. And his stance was that he was not enrolled in the advertisement because he was a white doctor, right? But now with this new executive order in place, what it said to me through the ancestors is everybody can choose who they want to service and who they don't want to service without fear of retribution. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way or if you understand that definition, because for so long we've been worried, Indigenous Americans have been worried about the oh, we're not treated well, or oh, they don't want us in certain areas. But now what I heard is it's time to bring back Black Wall Street, or Indigenous Wall Street, or Native Indian Wall Street, and be okay with that. The ancestors, primarily my aunt, who was like the real rebel, she was like, stop going into these places where you're not wanted. But you don't want to be inconvenienced. Exactly, soldier. Exactly. It's not as bad as people think. This now, thank you for that, Vivian. This now is the time for the transfer of wealth and power. Right? Really going in and being intentional about who and how you spend your money. I am old enough to remember a community where when we went shopping, I did not see other ethnicities. My great grandmother made sure of it. There was only one person of non-color that came to our home. He was made to stand outside on the porch, rain or shine, and that was the insurance man. That was it. Everybody else that she conducted and did business with, whether it was furniture, whether it was fabric, whether it was flowers, like a florist, they were indigenous. They were from the same community. As a matter of fact, we could probably throw a stone and see where they live and hit where they live. Right. And that's not, let me preface that by saying this. That is not in any way other ethnicity hate, but it is community love. And that's what the ancestors have been saying to me while I've been in meditation, while I've been interacting in my new city is, I will ride with you until I can't. Because spoiler alert, not all skin folk are kinfolk. So you have to do a little bit of an investigation. The other thing I wanted to say when we're talking about boycotts or being intentional about where we spend our money, vibe with viewers, stand up or change your sitting position. Y'all, you don't like the way I look? TikTok doesn't like the way I look? Okay. I got a puzzle piece because I'm looking down at y'all. I don't know what that means, but let me try to do something different. Let's see. Is that better? It's not better. And my stand hasn't come yet, so I'm just gonna hold it. I talk with my hands. But anyway, what was I saying? Now I gotta throw it off. Yes, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So do your research about who and how you are going to pour into them. But more importantly, when you develop more ancestral interactions, you will learn, they will guide you that what's going on is not a bad thing. We need this shakeup. The ancestors were saying to me, you need this shakeup so that we can usher in something new. So they can continue to pour into us the knowledge and how to navigate based off our indigenous principle and placement. You know, some people are saying, oh, we should just leave America. Okay. I was taught stick to the devil that you know. Stick to the devil that you know. And I've been to other countries, and while they are beautiful, a lot of the liberties that we have and take for granted here in America do not exist. I am Vivian says, I agree that that this is forcing us to be divine people that we are. Yes. Soldier says, why leave? We were born here. Facts, and triple facts. Right? But in order to have heaven on earth, it's going to take a little bit of work. And we're going to get into that, right? Note to self, stick to the devil that you know. Yes, stick to the devil that you know, right? And navigating that. And if you stick with me, I am going to assist you in how to navigate that devil and make it beneficial to you through ancestral veneration, divine timing, and getting out of your feelings, right? So one of the things on my notes, because I'm a note taker, as you see, I will forget. I'll see a butterfly and forget. But one of the things that I made on my notes was diplomacy and emotions cannot occupy the same space. Diplomacy, practicality, whatever you want to call it, cannot occupy the same space. If you are being emotional about a thing and are not able to focus, right, the ancestors want to reel you in, right? Have you think about that. Take some deep breaths, like I do guided breath meditation, all the things. Really going to get active in July and August by guiding you through those things. But when we make irrational, emotional decisions, it's because oxygen is not getting to the brain. When you are stressed or you upset or you are PO'd or whatever emotion that you're going through, we do this. That tenses the vagal nerve, that cuts off the oxygen. And then we make irrational decisions. Sure, Miss Vivian, diplomacy and emotions cannot occupy the same space. So that's the 32 souls. What's the 32 souls? What did I miss? Okay, I'll go back to it. So anyway, when you tense up, the vagal nerve runs the length of your body. My third great grandparents. Yes. Correct. And when that nerve is not functioning properly, you're cutting off oxygen to all of your major organs, and more importantly to the brain. And where does that nerve start? I'm going to say, again, not a doctor, right? But I believe it starts from the throat. No, I do know. It's actually part of the cerebellum. So it's here, weaving its way down all the way to your genitalia, right? Which is why when we tense up, it's part of it runs through the digestive system. It runs parallel with the lymphatic drainage system. So when you tense up, you're shutting down rationality, allegedly, again, for entertainment purposes only. You're shutting down rationality because there's no oxygen. So that's why when they say when people are in accidents, when people are going through trauma, when women are going through birth, they say what? Breathe. So when we're making these decisions, the ancestors were saying to me, stop being in your feelings. Why? Feelings is a word, man-made word that somebody gave to us. and told us what it was. But diplomacy, how does this affect me? How does it affect my family? What are the repercussions? Like chess. I would venture to say that indigenous Americans are moving so poorly and losing at life because they only take 2 steps. They only think about 2 things, today and tomorrow, versus today, tomorrow, the future, generations, all those things when we're making decisions, because your decisions not only have consequences for you, they have consequences for the generations to come. That's why there is no generational wealth in the indigenous Americans of America on average. Think about that, right? Want to take you through a couple of things to show you and pardon the room again. I'm still just moving in, and I forgot to bring these to the forefront. But what I have been taught again through the ancestors is there's a difference between fiat money, which is paper money, right? That they're trying to get to go away, and an actual gold, mineral or silver standard. So while you're thinking about the Usher concert and all the great things that you can purchase this summer, please stop and get you some hard in your hand silver. This is 5 ounces of silver. And I just only brought out like a couple of these, right? And then for bartering, and then also that's good for bartering, these are the Vicambi. And these are broken down by grams, if you can see that. So it's breakaway silver. These are some of the things that are generational wealth that you can pass on, or that you can barter with, or that is an asset. Right? Remember my great grandmother had money in a coffee can. Drop in the comments if that's relative to anybody. So she could always go and pull out a little something from somewhere, because they didn't trust banks. Think about post the COVID-19, living La Vida Loca 19, because I don't want to get in trouble. And the ATMs weren't working, and the SNAP cards weren't working. Right? That is, if you cannot maneuver around, if you don't know how to maneuver, if you don't know how to barter, it's going to be problematic. Now, there's a balance. Should you be knowledgeable of cryptocurrency and how that works, especially if you're running a small business? Absolutely. But do not be convicted to let that be the only form of currency that you know and understand. The ancestors say you have to be multifaceted. Right? Yeah, be able to move around in the crypto world. Yes, be able to move around in the fiat world. But also, just to bring to your attention, Florida is the first state that will accept gold and silver as a form of payment. Don't believe me? Google it. DuckDuckGo. Bing, whatever your choice of search engine is. Florida is the first state that will accept gold and silver. I'm not going to pull out my gold, because then y'all be trying to figure out where I live, and then it'll be a problem. But gold and silver as a form of payment. And this right here, I believe silver is at $79 an ounce. This is 350, 80 times 5 is $400 worth of silver. So if you stick with me, right, there will be no issues as to how you navigate this next phase of our beautiful lives, because it's going to be amazing. Soldier, I started, true story, I'm going to take up the second from the ancestral things. When they gave us stimulus back in 2020, I started building my gold, silver, and copper hard body. Because here's the thing, you have some businesses that say, we'll hold your silver for you. No, you won't. We'll hold your gold for you. No, you won't. We'll hold your copper. We'll hold your platinum. All mine comes with me, so I can get my hands on it. Right? And start small. I know that for some, financial situations could be tight. Again, I'm going to show you and explain to you how to do it where it doesn't break the bank. More importantly, your choices. So if you pull up your Uber app for the month and you have more than $150 worth of purchases, there is your 2 ounces of silver. I am Vivian says, I am clueless about this. Was at a meeting yesterday that talked about this. Oh, then I'm in alignment with the universe. I'm in alignment. Not that I questioned that, but I always love confirmation, Miss Vivian. Thank you so much. So if you have more than $150 of Uber purchases, that's 2 ounces of silver. Going back to the decision brain gut situation, and you allowing some company that does not have your best interest at heart to feed you, that's problematic. That's problematic. Right? If you follow me on TikTok, you see where I go to the farmer's market. I make a haul every week, no matter what state I'm in. I did it in Colorado. I'm doing it here in Michigan. And I interact with local farmers. I interact with local small businesses. Right? My preference under the guise of the United States of America is indigenous businesses. But I also look for good products. And again, that's not ethnicity hate. That is community love from my ancestors. That's what I got from my ancestors. So that's what we're going to do. So 5 things. Get your pen, get your paper, get your markers, get your crayons, whatever it is. 5 things I'm going to give to you that you should keep in the forefront of your mind moving through this next phase of great manifestations, transfer of power and wealth. Stop allowing the op to feed you. You know who the op is. You know what it looks like. You know what it feels like. You know what it smells like. I love or loved a good Chick-fil-A burger, sandwich. I know that Chick-fil-A doesn't necessarily care about myself, allegedly, or people who look like me. So I'm not going to allow my gut to override my common sense. This goes for eating at business functions, eating from food trucks, all the things. Be mindful. See what kind of vibe you get. Thank you for joining, D. Smith. See what kind of vibe you get. Ask yourself, would grandma eat from them? And getting worse. Yes, and getting worse, among others. But yes, and getting worse. So does food preparation take time? Yes. Are you worth it? Is your Is your health worth it? See, because you're going to pay one way or the other. Either you going to spend money on the food, you're going to spend money on preparations, or you're going to spend money on the doctors. And you're going to spend money on the medications, because a lot of that coverage for insurance is going away. You see, this presidency is making you responsible for your health and well-being, because we have complained about it for decades. One of the worst things my great-grandmother said she ever did was partake. Oh, vegan 9 years. Only thing low my B12 and only. Oh, congratulations, soldier. Congratulations. The one thing my great-grandmother said she partook in was the free cheese giveaway. Why? Because we allowed the government to be in charge of how we ate, of how we got our nutrition. And if anybody knows anything about that free cheese, that ish lasted in the freezer for generations. But what was in it? Right? Because real cheese, unless it's Parmesan on the wheel, gives you 3 to 5 business days at the most if it's wrapped properly. Real cheese. Right? Like that free cheese was a asset that they passed down for generational wealth because it was over in the deep freezer. So that's number one. Stop allowing. Yes, again, congratulations, soldier. I am so proud of you. I'm not there yet. I don't know that I want to be there because I do love steak, but I digress. Stop allowing the ops to feed you. All right. So second, the word of the century is reciprocity. The word of the century is reciprocity. Now, what do I mean by that? It's got to be a person, place, or thing that will give back to you or to your community. And I know we all know where I am going with this. There are certain areas you can't go and get a loan. You can't go and buy property. They won't even sell you a dog. Reciprocity. Am I welcome? How do I feel when I walk into this space? If it's not a positive space, what is drawing me back here? What inside of me feels neglectful to bring me back to a space that is not for my highest good? That's the ancestors. The ancestors never went anywhere that they weren't celebrated. I was told, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. That's what has us in financial captivity, says the ancestors. Right? Because we go where we're tolerating. Oh, well, I know this is not good, but my nails look good, or my toes look good, or my hair looks good. But what are they doing to your energetic body? What are they doing to your spirit? How does that make you feel? I learned there's a place in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I love their burgers. I also found out that even though they have indigenous people running it, they are Asian owned. And I'm going to leave that right there. Soldier says, I've been doing my own nails for a decade now because they harvest our leaving us depleted. You better say that. That energetic exchange. So reciprocity is the word of the century. Before you make any purchase, do I really need it? Is there a place of business? Because you know what? You could be watching the replays and you could be of Indian descent. You could be of Asian descent. You could be of Indian descent, whatever descent. Is there a business of people that look like me that provide same said service. Right? Reciprocity is the word of the century. Number 3, digital detox. Now, this is going to cut both ways. Thank you, Ms. Vivian. I appreciate you. This is going to cut both ways because I connect with you all through social media. All right. We're on computers. We're on tablets. We're on phones. We're on all the things. But there should come a time, at least twice a month, that you turn off the electronics. I stepped on some toes then. Yep. 2 people left the room. That's okay. Turn off the electronics. To reset your energetic body. Turn it off. Like Teddy Pendergrass. Turn them off. 2 times a month. Here we go. I'm getting ready to really connect you with the universe. Your new moon and your full moon. After deconstruction comes manifestations. You want to get back in tune with the universe. So your new moon and your full moon are your 2 times a month to digitally detox. Ma'am, just call me next time. Stop putting my damn... I didn't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I did mean to. I'm lying. I meant to. Inbox me. Don't put me on Front Street. But no, seriously. These are just 5 of the steps. So the next step is a physical detox. Because you have to. Oh my goodness. It's the truth anyhow. Isn't that what the old people used to say? It's the truth anyhow. So, I'm laughing and pissed off at the same time. Yep. Right. So your physical detox, because detoxing is twofold. Your environment, your physical detox is, I'm pissed with you and ashamed too. I'm making friends. That's how I make friends. I piss people off. Your physical detox. So even if you are still eating that Chick-fil-A or Bells of the Tacos or the Donalds of the Macs or the Kings of the Burgers or the Castles of the Whites or the Eyes of the Pops or the whatever it is, it's time to flush. And people think jumping into green juice and fruit juice and all these things are the way to go. And I am here to tell you, again, we're going to take a little trip. It's not. That's not where you start. I don't know how. The bathroom's not clean. But you need a few things. First of all, your little floss things. But what I really want to show you, 2 things I want to show you. Okay, let's get back to the appropriation of things. Maybe you're going on field trips. So before you can change your attitude about food, how many know what this is? Drop in the chat if you know what this is, and I'm going to come back to it. But the most important thing is oil pulling. And I use the Ayurvedic. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Vivian, tongue scraper cleanser. Yes. I use mustard oil because that is what they use in the Ayurvedic practices. And you have to build your way up. Because oil pulling in and of itself is crazy. But pulling the oil with mustard, that's on a whole nother level, right? So even before you start to detox the body, you have to do what? Detox your craving. for the thing, for the bells of taco, for the kings of burgers, right? So oil pulling and tongue scraping. Do that for 7 days before you start to, I'm going to get green juice and we got dandelions and we got this and we got that, because you're still going to have the craving on your tongue for the bells of the kings, for the Donalds of the Macs, right? That craving is still there. So those are two things. Your physical detox, and start small. Give yourself grace. I fall off the wagon all the time because Mexican Coke is my chosen vice. Just one in the glass bottle. That's my vice. And I still give myself grace because I still have my practices, right? I know how to get back on the wheel. We fall down, but we get up, right? That's what grace is. Have grace with yourself. We didn't get here. It didn't take us a moment to get where we are. Not too much, Miss Vivian, not too much. It didn't take us a minute to get where we are, and it's not going to take us a minute to get from that space. So give yourself grace while you're going through these things, right? So I've given you stop allowing the op to feed you, the word of reciprocity, digital detox, physical detox, fabric and clothing. Now here is where I might lose some more people. I just got my stuff to play in my July because of you. Thanks. I was going to do it. Damn. Yes, soldier. Yes. Get it together. Fabric and clothing. Now in the other people's good books, it talks about the splitting of fabrics. But what they don't give to you, that I learned from my great grandmother, find Miss Margie's picture while we talking about her and referencing her and giving thanks for her knowledge and her hanging around in the life to give me the knowledge to give to you all. Ashe and Ashe. Let me see if I can pull her up here. If I got a little something. I really like, let's see where we at. I really like, she was always gorgeous, but okay. Well, this is my great grandmother and my grandmother. All right. And so, what the powers that be won't tell you about the splitting, I've been asking how to change the ritual of prayer to something more spiritual. I got you. Wait a minute. Let me make a note. Prayer versus meditation. Let me just put that down. Prayer versus meditation. Okay. So, what the powers that be won't tell you about the splitting of fabrics is very important. When you combine or split threads, types of fabrics, you lower your frequency. The frequency of your etheric, energetic, vibrational body. Many moons ago in the hospitals, what did they use? They used linen and cotton sheets. And something was either all linen or it was all cotton. There was no splitting of the threads. If you're watching this, or if you've ever experienced a spiritual reading from me, you know that I come dressed in all white, linen or cotton, clean slate, copper cups and copper doorknobs. Correct, soldier. Come through. I'm glad you're still talking to me because I thought you was going to kick me out your friend group. So, if you will think about this, when you see certain groups of people, where do they shop from? Shein, And what's the other one? There's another one. But 90% of the time, you will not find linen or cotton in their repertoire. You will see nylon, you will see polyester, you will see just blends of all types, but not pure thread fabric count. So let's talk about lowering the frequency. Number one, linen holds 5,000 hertz of energy, which is why it was used many moons ago for healing. When we got to cut, we got to scrape, we got to burn, the thought is nauseating to me. What's nauseating to you, Miss Vivian? When we got to cut, scrape, or burn, my great-grandmother always had a king-size white sheet that she could go and tear from, cotton, and wrap that burnt, put the medicine on it, because she used agrimony. She used comb-free. These were salves and oils that were applicable for burns so that it would scab quickly, so it would heal quickly and evenly. The strategies that they use to control light. Yes. Oh, and there are a plethora of them. So she would cut from this sheet and then wrap it. I didn't know what a Band-Aid was till I was like 8. Yes. Because that's not the way a wound needs to heal. You can do a video on yes, absolutely. Absolutely. On just the fabrics alone. So honorable mention for things to take forward with you is buy secondhand first. Go into your local vintage shops and look for 100% cotton, 100% linen, because if you're buying secondhand first, it's cheaper. If you go to Al Gore's internet and try to make a purchase of real 100% linen, first of all, it's $30 a yard. And the garment that's made is going to be $100 to $150. If you are getting something linen and it's $25, it is a linen blend, and it will not have the same effect. Don't believe me? Come back, purchase a set of sheets, and then come back and call me a liar. Right? Start dressing from your polyester and your nylon and whatever other fabrics that they have out. Go to sleep in 100% cotton. And call back and tell me you don't sleep longer through the night. Or come on here and tell me, inbox and tell me, Tyra, you're a liar. Nomadic Alchemist, you're not telling the truth. I know because I've tested it. That's the one thing about me as a spiritual practitioner, as a medium. I'm not going to come on here and tell you anything to do that I am not doing myself. That is why I leave my products in place, because this is not for show. Me helping you connect with your ancestors and raise your vibrations is not for show. It is my job. And I want to do it well. So I don't want you to say, he's showing us mustard oil. I will go back in my bathroom, just where it was when I took you in there to get it. Right? So anyway, back to the fabrics. Try them. There may be some on the Zons of Ammon, because I'm not endorsing nobody's business. But wherever you shop from, look for 100% cotton sheets or 100% linen sheets. Start there. Start small. Right? And if you can't change the sheets right now, buy secondhand. I'm going to give you a way to purify secondhand clothing that you buy. Get back your pen, get your pen out, get your paper out. 6% peroxide. Not 3, 6. 2 capsules in 8 ounces of water to add to your laundry. A half a cup of Epsom salt. 2 tablespoons of aluminum-free baking soda. Well, glad I got a free reading in the public. Seems I started all this last week. Yes. So when you're buying secondhand, purify it, right? That 6% peroxide is going to pull out all of the oils that was left from the previous person. That Epsom salt is a purifier. That's why it is in all types of salt are purifiers. That's why it's in our bundle. That's why it's on the altar, right? Baking soda, same thing. It's going to bring those oils. It's going to bring that energy up to the top of that fabric. So when you're washing it is effective. And if you got time, take you a paint bucket and put it over in there and let it soak, and then wash it. Buying secondhand first, because you want to get rid of the old oils. You also want to get rid of the old energy. And just a little bit of plug for the practitioners. If you have a practitioner, spiritual practitioner, that cannot give you a remedy, or that is not giving you assistance, I advise you to change practitioners, because spirituality and readings are multi-layered. Yeah, it's a reading. Sure. That's what the ancestors used. That's what my great grandmother used to do. She was the medicine woman of the community. She was the seer of the community. But she also came with we had a little linen closet with all of what the people call curios. That's where your comfrey oil was, your comfrey salve was. That's where your agrimony was. That's where your black walnut was. That's where your heliotrope was. That's where your Jezebel oil was. If you know, you know. Right? So this time is magical. It's amazing. It's pulling back the veil. It's allowing us to be more practical. And the government has opened up. They didn't open the door. They kicked it down to where it's okay for you to verbally say outside, I don't want to be bothered with so-and-so. I don't want to spend my money there. That's why that executive order works both ways. Now, right? It's working both ways. You can choose and it be okay. We are my community, people who look like me, is the only community that are condemned for wanting community. I can take you on rides from here to Detroit. There's an Indian store, there's an Asian store, there's an African store, there's a Caribbean store. There's an Asian bank, there's an African bank, there's an Indian bank. Now, the government has said, do what you like. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, always. Always. Yes, ma'am. Now they have said, do what you like. You're going to have a hard time. And that's why I am so glad that he signed this executive order, because now to the doctor in Grand Junction, you don't have a leg to stand on, sir. The Supreme Courts will not be hearing civil rights violations. The United States Supreme Courts and courts are not going to make that first on their list or a hill they're going to die on. It ain't going to happen. So now what? We have to navigate like the ancestors said navigate. Community. Now, inside of community, you still have to hold them to a standard. And remember, the word of the decade, of the century is reciprocity. So I go into an Indian store, and because they have curry leaves, and my order was $22.38. So I gave him $22. He gave me my dollar back. He was like, "You good?" You know why? Because now they have been made aware of just how important indigenous dollars are. They want to build a relationship. And we should build relationships that are reciprocal. That's what the ancestors say. As I'm sitting here now, I hear Janet Jackson in my mind. What have you done for me lately? Dum, 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 dum. What can I get? What are you doing? How do you feel about me? How am I greeted when I come into a store? If I get the slightest whiff or inkling of indigenous impropriety when I walk into a store, I'm leaving. I don't care how good, how great the things are that I have picked up. It's a wrap for me. That's how we have to stand in our convictions. That's what ancestral veneration is, because the boycott of Birmingham, Alabama went 366 days. Walking. What's the other word I'm looking for when you get together? It escapes me. Carpooling. 366 days. Are you committed to your freedom like that? Are you committed to your self-esteem like that? Can we go 366 days without the zones of Amma? Without the march of walls? I'm going to show you how right now. So, where the collection of money comes from is that you go by a particular store every other day. Oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need this. And when they get you in there, you may have only gone for one thing, but 12 times out of 10, you're going to pick up 15 other things. As a child and a young adult with my great-grandmother, we never went to the store without a list. And if it was not on the list, we were not getting it. Grandma, I want, we got that at home. My dear, I want, we got that at home. So, there are certain things I'm going to say not going to convict anybody else. There are certain things that I can't get from other stores. Case in point is chicken feet. That's how I make my bone broth. That's how I get the collagen. But when I do go into one of the stores that has that, and I know it's not reciprocal, I'm going to buy every bag they have. See, because you're not going to see me next week. It takes some planning on my part. It takes some math on my part, right? So I know that I put 10 chicken feet in each batch of stock that I do with my celery and my carrots and my turmeric and my ginger and my rosemary, all the things. If I'm doing batches of bone broth every week, I need 40 chicken feet. If I'm not going to go for 3 months, I need 120 chicken feet. Field trip. When I go, I've done the math. I know what I need. I won't be back until August or September, right? Want to show y'all so y'all know that's what it is. And y'all don't think I'm faking the funk. I won't be back there until August or September. I'm not going to give you the chance to lure me in for, ooh, that's pretty, and ooh, that's new, and bop, 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 bop. No. Now, when I walk in, we're building relationships. I'm greeted. Hello, how you doing? Uh-oh, another puzzle piece. Okay. Tap the screen. Let me tap the screen because it says that I'm inactive, and we know better because I'm very active. If you're still in here, yeah. So I've gone, and I've got enough to do what I need to do to keep me healthy through the summer. That is how you, hey Tizzle, that is how you plan. And you're not getting in the store, giving away your generational wealth every other day. Here's another one. As a person, I use 4 to 5 rolls of toilet tissue a week. A month. I think it's a month. I can't remember. But calculate that. Go to Costco's and have your list and buy the supplies one time quarterly. That way, you're not in the store. Oh my God, Costco got a new. The Walls of Mart's got a new. Go what you going for and come your tail back to the house. If it's not on the list, it's not purchased. Every person needs 1 gallon of water per day. Are you buying the little bottles? Are you getting the pump? What is it? Because that's the first thing we need to start stockpiling and putting it in glass bottles. It's real simple. If you're in Colorado, there are natural wells. If you're in Prattville, Alabama, there are natural wells. Take your glass and fill up your glass of water, right? Because we're not making water, and bring it back. It's about preparation. Though how we give away the generational wealth is we go for the chicken foot, but we see they got these new dangly earrings. Are the earrings on the list? Hell no. Do you need them? No. Oh, they got new so-and-so. Is it on the list? I'm so invested to you building your generational wealth. You can send me the occupants in your house. And I will, and what you all generally eat. And I will break down for you in your city what you need to purchase quarterly. But first of all, get off the processed foods. This is summer. It should be a roasted meats and salad. Give your digestive system a break. It should be roasted meats, something coming off the grill, or grilled portobello mushrooms, or grilled king trumpet mushrooms, or grilled bell peppers, whatever it is, with your amazing purple basil vinaigrette and salad. We should just be eating to live and not living to eat, because there's a difference. When you eat to live, you're giving your body sustenance that it needs to function. When you live to eat, that means you are gorging yourself with things that are not beneficial to your health and wellness. It's summer. It should be light. It should be fun. Right? But at the same time, if you have a freezer, you should be getting the core bones, beef bones, chicken feet, to make that stock, to make the bone marrow broth, because that's what it is for the winter. Thank you, Miss Vivian. I appreciate you. Again, I practice what I preach. Right? So yeah, I'm vested in that. If you have, just can't get with the math and what you need, it's really simple. We can do it over on Discord or in Zoom or something like that to break down. But that's how you get back this generational wealth after deconstruction, because it's going to be a battle. It's going to be challenging if you're still in organized religion and trying to do all of these things. Why? Because Pastor Get Some from Bendover Baptist is going to want his money. It's going to be a challenge. Unless you are independently wealthy, Pastor Get Some from Bendover Baptist is going to want his 10%. And the 10% you're giving to him could be $200 or $300 for you to be prepping for yourself. My great grandmother she was a devout church member, and she was also quick to say, I ain't got it. I don't have it. I have to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm not trying to coax anybody out of organized religion. What I am going to say is that it's not beneficial for your health and well-being. Now, I will stand on that. It's not beneficial for your generational wealth. It's not reciprocal for your generational wealth. We've seen it play out time and time and time again. So again, gradual steps. You're deconstructing. It's ancestral veneration, and then preparation. Knowledge is power. Remember your 5 things. Anybody have any questions? Because I know I have rambled. I've rambled for a whole hour. I'm getting better at this. Any questions? Anything I didn't touch on? Anything you would like for me to touch on as we embark on this new journey, right? As we really start building generational wealth and getting back into community and being okay with having a sense of pride. Right? That's what I'm here for. That's what I want. It was so good. I feel full. Oh, thank you, Miss Vivian. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Any other questions, concerns, issues, anything you would like for me to teach on? A couple of things. I wanted to go over Cohen Wiley, which was the baby who is now an ancestor who was transitioned. 1 hour is good any time. Yes. He transitioned at the hands of a police officer in Walmart. And we also like to, just again, touch on the ancestral veneration, how it shows up in our everyday lives. So Cohen's name is priest or religious leader, a highly intuitive peacemaker. Cohen was born 11/1/2024. 11/1 is the Day of the Dead. It is the day that we are unalived. I don't know. Okay, TikTok, unalive, but it's it's an actual holiday, so that's the name of it. And that's when we honor children that have passed on. That was his birthday. 8 plus 1 is 9. Then we do his life path, and it's 2, right? And it was all about him building community. He's an ancestor so that we can build community. That was Cohen. Rest in power, Cohen. But he'll be, energy doesn't dissipate. It changes forms. So then we go over to Jordan Rose Duncan. And she was born March 22nd, 2018. Her name in Hebrew means downflowing or descending. The river of Jordan. Water. We just got done talking about how important it is. Legend has it that JC was baptized by John in the river of water. So her passing on, and she transitioned at the hands of 3 generations. A mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother were all involved in her transitioning. I don't know what all I can say here, but Google it for yourself. There's Jordan Rose Duncan. Her life path is a 7. She is the seeker. So when we honor her, we should be seeking truth. Remember 2 weeks ago, I told you that these events are going to be more because they're trying to get you to wake up and see what's really behind the scene. So especially Jordan's story, really, both of the stories struck home for me, but especially Jordan's because it was 3 generations. That's 3 generations of hate. 3. And so now, while we are building back generational wealth and community, being in commune with somebody, keep these things in the forefront. Reciprocity. How does it affect me? How does it benefit me? Right? That's why we keep seeing these things. And lastly, special shout out to Amanda Hendricks, who did her big one to let us know, stay out of the Kings of Burgers, the Harbies, because Harbies is where she worked. The Istles, the Ik-Fil-A's. Yes, definitely. I'll have details and names too. Yes, soldier. Stay out of those places because whatever the exchange was, she took it upon herself to share her sputum with someone who did not ask for it. So be mindful of that when you're sitting in the drive-thru. Okay. Thank you all so much for sharing your lunch break, your downtime with me. Thank you all to my participants in the chat. Thank you to everyone who may be watching the replay. My name is Tyra, also known as the Nomadic Alchemist, and I am here for your highest good and your greatest purpose. Peace, love, and magic.